Hi friends, welcome, and today we're taking a look at the mobile version of Infinity Nikki. If you don't know, Infinity Nikki is a free-to-play open world dress-up game that is truly unique. It's available on mobile, PC, and PlayStation, and it promises a magical experience for everyone. My question is, how does the mobile version stack up against PC? Today we're going to dive into a side-by-side comparison to see the difference in graphics, controls, and overall gameplay experience, so let's go ahead and jump right in. So starting out on mobile, my first experience was not great because you can see it's kind of laggy, it's glitching, it's really hard to just even play the game. So I decided to go into my settings. I changed everything from medium to low, which was kind of unfortunate, but it did make the game run smoother for me, so I feel like that was what I needed to do. Now here we are starting off in the entryway into town, and this is unfortunately not shocking for me. I had no expectation that the graphics on PC were going to look anything similar to that on mobile. The first thing that you'll notice is that all of the flowers and all of the little details like bugs and people even, or NPCs, do not show up in the mobile version as they do on PC. Again, this was kind of to be expected, but it really doesn't look great. Now with that being said, I don't think it looks absolutely terrible in my opinion. Like, I think it's still playable, but obviously understanding that those graphics aren't going to be that good is something to keep in mind. I did want to see what it was like inside, and the one difference that I really noticed in here is not necessarily in the details, but there is a lack of like people. As you can see on PC, there are people sitting at the tables. There are no NPCs or anybody sitting at the tables in the mobile version. But overall, I feel like the vibrance and the colors in here still looked really good. Now, what do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments below. Now, the next most important place I think for us to check out was going to be like the clothing menu. And I have to say, I actually enjoyed this. I really don't feel like it looks absolutely terrible. Like, again, it's pixelated, yes, but you can still see all of the details in the dress. And I also want to mention, when I was in the medium graphics settings, I did see sparkles on the dress. So I think, again, the higher your graphics setting on mobile, it'll probably look a lot better than this. However, the biggest details I noticed missing are in some of those little details in the outfits, like if there's glitter or, you know, really fine print or, you know, fine stitching or anything like that. But I enjoyed it, and I feel like this menu is really intuitive. Now in your Pair Pal, you may be familiar with Run Pair Pal, which is the little game that you play to pass time. You can choose to skip this, but I wanted to show this off for one reason specifically, which is this played really well on my phone. Like, I really enjoyed playing it, and I feel like, don't judge me off my performance in this little clip, but I do feel like I played a lot better on my mobile phone than I did on PC. I assume that's because this is kind of set up like how a mobile game might be, considering you can buy games like this to play on your phone. I also mentioned that the graphics here do not really look that different from the graphics on PC, which is why I have it in its own little segment. They really look almost the same, to be honest. All right, so now we're going to get out and explore the world a little bit, and besides the obvious, which is the lack of flowers and other details, I will say that using your ability outfits was pretty smooth overall. You can see on the screen right here the different buttons that you have for like jumping, sprinting, and using your ability outfits. They're on the right hand side of the screen. Now, how it's set up is you use your left hand to direct Nikki around, and you use your right hand to move the camera around to see, you know, in different directions. And this, I feel like, works as it should. The only issue I ran into is sometimes with my right hand, I'll hit the wrong button and I'll accidentally jump or switch into an ability outfit. But if I'm being honest, I really don't know how it could be set up any different, especially for all of the different activities that you need to do with Nikki. So I feel like it's intuitive in the best way that it can be. It does take some getting used to, which we'll talk a little bit more about in detail. But even if you look at us interacting in the pet grooming outfit, it's, I mean, almost the same. It's pretty much exactly the same, honestly. And again, graphically, it's not the best, but I still find this very cute, and it's clear to see what's going on. You can see the face on the little creature, and you see the little bubbles pop up when she's grooming them. So honestly, this doesn't really bother me that much. Now, as we move into combat, I have to say, this went a lot smoother than I kind of expected it to. Granted, you have to get used to the controls like I've been mentioning, but I did find defeating enemies out in the world was not super hard. However, However, these are kind of like the level 1 enemies, I guess you could say. Like, they're one-hit enemies. I don't know how this would compare in like a boss fight or any enemies that are a little bit more difficult to defeat, because it does require a lot of moving around and jumping. And again, if you're moving around and jumping and accidentally hit the wrong button, it could result in you getting hit or possibly passing out. So that is just one thing to keep in mind when it comes to fighting in the game. And also, I kind of wanted to show you up here on this platform, the difference in the graphics is like, it's so crazy, because literally this entire area is forested versus mobile, it's just a couple of trees. Again, not shocking. And in that same note, I do want to show you guys this house. I almost could not find this house on PC when I was running around trying to recreate the footage because of how different it looks, but it's completely enveloped in like trees and bushes and vines. And on mobile, there is none of that. You can see the structure of the house, but there are no little details there at all. Now let's talk about fishing in the game. I have to say I really enjoyed fishing. It feels very intuitive. So if you haven't tried fishing in the game right now, basically all you need to do is move from the left side to the right side to where the fish down, and then you just click to pull the fish in. And on mobile, this felt very easy and very simple to do. It felt exactly like it does when I'm playing on PC, so I really liked it and it was really easy. Now the next thing I wanted to check out was the mini games. As you can see, this is one of those little mini games that you come across when you're out exploring Maryland, and this was pretty smooth for the most part. We're gonna chat a little bit about this though, because this is where the mobile version would be really like the most difficult for me, because Infinity Nikki is partially a platforming game. And again, the controls that you have to work with on mobile make it really difficult to be precise, if I'm being honest. Even when you're running around or jumping, it doesn't feel like you have a good grip on where you want Nikki to like land or run. And that may be a skill issue, considering I don't play a bunch of games on mobile phones. However, I do think once you get used to it, it might be easier. So we are going to keep that in mind, but it is something I want to point out, because for a game that requires precision when you're jumping, this could be a frustration factor for a lot of people who may be choosing to play on their mobile phones. But I feel like it was pretty easy to do this mini game. You know, you kind of just jumped from one area to the next and then solved a little puzzle, and you glide down to get the Wimp Star. It wasn't super difficult, but I know that these get more difficult as time goes on. So it's just something I wanted to point out and show off in this video. Now let's talk about the gacha system on mobile. The first thing I find doing pools on mobile was really fun. Like, I really enjoyed it. I love the cutscene. I feel like it looked really pretty despite the graphic settings, and the pools were very simple and easy to do. I could totally see myself when I'm out and need to pass time logging in on my phone and doing some of the pools on the different banners that I'm working on. I just found this to be very simple and very easy, and I really enjoyed it. I also like that the images and the graphics for this part is similar to the PC version as well, so I just think that this was great. Now let's talk about camera mode, and this is a struggle. This is a struggle on mobile. Changing the filters and playing with the lighting and stuff like that was pretty simple to do, but adjusting the camera and trying to put Nikki in a certain position in the camera, I found very difficult to do. And that's because they have, which I'll show on screen now, they have like this little pad that you move around, like I don't even know what this is called, but I guess you drag it to try to position the camera in a specific place. And the movement for this is very sensitive, so you'll move too far to one side or too far to the other side, and it just felt difficult to kind of get it right. There was also issues with like, and this is not shocking, again, this is a graphics thing, but if I wanted to blur the background using the aperture, I found that it looks like this versus how it does on PC. So that is just something to keep in mind. Also, another thing to note is that your mobile pictures don't show up on PC. Now, another thing I'll mention is that your events menu on mobile looks really good in my opinion. It seems clearer than some of the other areas in the game, and it was very simple to use. So I didn't have any issue going into like my mirror journey or looking at my daily wishes. This worked really well and was easy to do. Now, really quickly, I did want to show off traveling to a realm. This was pretty smooth overall. The biggest difference I noticed here was just in the graphics, which is kind of like the theme of the video. Everything else went and worked really smoothly, so I enjoyed that. And in that same vein, I did want to test out traveling through Aspire or fast traveling, and this was pretty smooth overall. I did want to show off the time difference and the loading screen, so you can see PC is obviously faster, but mobile didn't take as long as I expected it to, so that was a pleasant surprise. So that brings us to the end of our comparison video for Infinity Nikki on mobile versus PC. Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. My thoughts overall is that Infinity Nikki on mobile could definitely use some optimizations, but I didn't necessarily find it difficult to actually play the game. So if you're someone who doesn't have a PC or a PlayStation, I would say definitely give it a try on your mobile phone or even on your iPad to see how you feel about it. Either way, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please make sure you give the video a thumbs up and consider hitting that notification bell for more Infinity Nikki content. And in the meantime, you can watch the videos linked on your screen right now for some more content. Thank you again for being here, and until next time, I will catch you all in the next one. Peace!